Florida is bracing for Hurricane Milton with landfall expected as early as tonight in the Tampa region. If the storm strikes the city, it would be the first major hurricane impact there in over 100 years. Milton comes just about 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene. That storm claimed over 230 lives in 6 states, with $286 million in federal assistance distributed so far. For the latest on what we're doing about these storms and for the disaster relief, we are turning right now to FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell. She joins us from Raleigh, North Carolina. Of course, Hurricane Helene hit North Carolina particularly hard. And Administrator, thank you very much for joining us this morning. So much activity, it's hard to know where to start. Why don't we talk about what you're doing in North Carolina and what FEMA's efforts are there?
Yeah, good morning. So I'm here in North Carolina right now, and we're continuing to support Governor Cooper and his entire team with the ongoing efforts to meet the people that have needs across all of these impacted counties. I had an opportunity yesterday to travel with the governor to Burnsville and to Spruce Pine, and we even had an opportunity to talk to some of the major employers as well as some small businesses, as well as residents and first responders to understand what their impacts are. We have been bringing resources in and personnel to help support the ongoing efforts. We will continue to move people in. We're starting to see a lot of progress in certain areas, but there are definitely some parts of Appalachia that have been significantly hit. And it'll be a while before we can get the water and the power restored in a few of those areas.
It's been 2 weeks, and there has been an outpouring of frustration that has played out on social media. In some cases, people saying that FEMA hasn't been there, that they haven't been there to support them. In other cases, saying that they've actually, federal authorities have actually turned away local volunteers who are trying to help. What do you say to all of that pushback out there?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're still having this conversation. It's a false narrative, and it's just a distraction to what we're doing here on the ground. Just because you don't see somebody in a FEMA shirt walking around a community doesn't mean FEMA's not there. Much of the water and food that's been delivered into these communities came from our warehouses. We have experts from the Army Corps of Engineers and the Department of Defense that are on the ground helping out in these communities. And we've had staff embedded at the state EOC, side by side with the state, so we understand what their needs are and we can meet those needs and get the right resources in place. And so we've been on the ground since before the storm passed through Appalachia. We are still here, and we will be here as long as we are needed to meet all of the needs of these communities.
I mean, is this an example of a storm that's just so big and so powerful and cut such a wide swath through so many states? It's hard to imagine being able to put everything back together very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a historic storm. It hit 6 different states, and each state had a different type of impact, right? When we look at what it did in Florida with the storm surge and the wind, we look at in Georgia, where it was primarily the damages from the wind and a lot of downed power lines from trees. But then in all the states in Appalachia, that flash flooding, all of them had very different risks. But we have had personnel across all of these states impacted. I've got leadership teams embedded with all of the governor's teams to ensure we're continuing to meet their needs. And we're still preparing and pre-positioning resources to support Florida for Hurricane Milton.
President Trump or former President Trump has been critical as well, talking about how families in emergency can only get $750 for some of the things that have come through. There's been criticism from lots of political angles, but what does that do to your job on the ground, and is it true?
Well, let me just set the record straight on the $750 first, right? We know that some people have immediate needs. They need to replace medicine, maybe buy clothing, additional food and water. And so that's just an initial financial assistance to help them meet those immediate needs in the beginning. But as people are registering and they get that funding, We're also giving them reimbursement for repairs for the damages that they incurred in their home, or lost belongings, or if they incurred costs when they evacuated and they were displaced, right? We also have a hotel program where we're putting people into hotels that have been impacted. A lot of resources. These types of programs will continue to support individuals that were impacted throughout this response and the recovery effort. And where it impacts is that it creates distrust. And I need people to apply for this assistance so we can actually get them the resources that they're eligible for and that they so desperately need.
What happens to homeowners whose homes were flooded? They didn't have home insurance, flood insurance, as was the case in many, many, many homes that were damaged in North Carolina and other places. What can you do for them? What will be allowed to be done? Are they ever going to be able to come back to their properties and think of rebuilding?
Yeah, I mean, insurance is certainly the first place that we want people to go, but we know that a lot of people did not have flood insurance. And that's where our programs come in, and they help jumpstart the recovery process for them. We can give them funding to help with the repairs to their homes. We can give them funding to help replace things like their refrigerators or other appliances, or a lost vehicle if it was their primary vehicle. But we'll also be working with this. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, how long does it take for that process? I mean, these are people who, for 2 weeks, their world's been turmoil. How long does it take to get things like that done?
We've already given out several max grants to individuals that had damages to their homes. And so as they register and as we validate the damages to their home, and we use things like aerial imagery so we don't have to have somebody go in person, that money is already flowing out into the communities. And I believe the last number I got this morning was over $35 million here in North Carolina alone has gone out into individuals' hands, into their bank accounts, so they can start that process.
How are preparations going for the latest with Hurricane Milton coming in?
Yeah, we're expecting, again, just another historic storm now to hit the west coast of Florida. 3 years in a row, they've been hit by these major storms, but this one is going to be, I think, unlike any of those. It's going to be a very strong, dangerous storm with significant storm surge in a major metropolitan area. I was in Florida on Monday, and I was able to meet with Mayor Castor of Tampa as well as Mayor Welch of St. Petersburg, check in quickly on their needs from initial recovery from Helene, but also their concerns as we prepare for this storm. Evacuation and getting out of the storm's path is the most important piece. I believe people still have some time to get out of harm's way. The storm surge is what we're so worried about, and so you don't have to go far. We want people to just move out of those evacuation zones. But we are prepared to help support the state of Florida with the efforts that they're already putting in place. We have over 1,200 search and rescue personnel from our teams, as well as the Department of Defense, the Coast Guard, as well as other federal partners that have vehicles and aircraft that'll be able to go in and support the state with all of those initial search and recovery efforts to help them as this storm passes. We're sending in additional resources as well. Same things that we sent in prior to Hurricane Helene to help with that initial stabilization after it.